Hello. So welcome back to Lineview Cottage. I thought today it might be a good idea to do a bit of a before and after, or sort of a story so far, so you can see what's been done on the house in the last few years to get it to the point that it is now. So we're still at very early stages of getting things done, but still a lot has happened. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy. It actually makes sense to start here with the front of the house. So the only big change here is that the door has been repainted from its red. The area in the house that I think has changed most is actually the back garden here. So back in 2016, I couldn't even stand where I am right now because the nettles and brambles had grown out so much. So we managed to clear away a lot of that, and then last year then a lot more was done, where my friends actually helped me by clearing away as far as the bonfire pit there and clearing a small path going further in. But then since winter this year, I've managed to clear out a lot more. I think we'll do a small bit more in the summer as well. Right now it's sort of a process of just finding out the space that is on the land and then trying to decide what to do with it. Then the next spot we'll go to is the patio, which has also changed quite a lot. Okay, so this is the patio space just outside the living room. My parents and I cleared out this space, so the hedge that's behind me that leads onto the railway, it had actually grown up against the wall of the house. So there was a lot of work to cut that back. There was a dead tree just there that we cut away as well. And now this space is mostly just used for storage of scrap and for also firewood processing. It would be nice to be able to use it as a bit more of a leisure space. Maybe it would be great for a barbecue or something at some point, but right now this is just essentially the outdoor workspace. So when it comes to the interior of the house, I think the room that's had the most attention and had the most changes is this one, which is the bedroom, or the downstairs bedroom anyway. So previously it was basically just a storage room for large amounts of stuff. There was an old bed in this corner here that was eaten through with woodworm. There was just lots and lots of bits and pieces that weren't being used in the rest of the house, and it wasn't really a usable room. And one of the main reasons it wasn't usable at all was because down in this corner here and throughout the floor, really, the wooden flooring was just completely rotten through. So it had to be replaced, and it was actually one of the first big jobs I did on the house because it was something that seemed quite urgent. So the first thing we did was, well, we took down the roof paneling that was up here because it was damaged and hadn't been installed properly and just made the room feel quite small and claustrophobic. So we took that down. We removed most of the items that had been in the room. Some of them were moved around, one or two have been taken off to be restored, and the rest was gotten rid of. And then we dug out about a ton or ton and a half of material from underneath the wooden floorboards to level out the ground. We removed the lintel that had been in front of this fireplace, and actually it looks like the fireplace was never really used, and I don't see a use for it anymore, so I need to decide what to do about that. But then we put in a ton and a bit of gravel and then a ton and a bit of sand and leveled that out, so that we would then have enough space to put down our damp-proof membrane, so basically just a sheet of plastic to stop damp entering the floor, and then on top of that sheets of insulation. You can see some extra sheets we have here that will probably be used for another project. Then we put tiles on top of those for a while just to sort of weigh them down, and we had a cement truck come with a cube and a quarter, I think, of cement. So they poured it through the window, actually, this window right here, and we were able to level it out and then leave it for the day to set. We did have one issue where when the cement truck was backing out, I didn't notice that a section was going to catch on the window frame, and it did catch on the window frame and ripped the entire window out of the wall. So we didn't have a window in the house for a day, so we quickly went to a local window place to get a replacement window pane cut because one of them had broken, and we reinstated the window and put in the window pane, which is actually this one. So you notice it looks nice and clean compared to the other ones. It's because it is new. So that didn't all go fantastically, but it did mean that now we do have a wooden floor, or we do have a solid floor in this room, which means that then I've been able to use it and turn it into a bedroom. So these beds here are actually me and my sister's childhood beds that have been put to get back together as bunks. That's about it for this room. So right now it's just indoor storage for stuff and a bedroom. But it will be nice once there is a garden shed to be able to put some of this stuff outdoors, and then maybe we can put a third bed here for if people are coming along and staying, because not everyone wants to sleep up in a bunk, and if you've got the option of another bed, I think that will be ideal. So the hallway is another room that's been just repainted with white paint, but everything here is wallpapered. Even the roof had been wallpapered, and I think there's a lot of issues underneath the walls here. The door frames will need to be replaced, the doors most likely also, and at the moment I'm not going to do too much to this room yet until we get to the point where we are stripping things back. So here is another issue that needs to be fixed soon. This is our backup water supply, and it has been used as a weight to hold this door frame in place because it came loose when we were bringing wheelbarrows in and out for doing the floor of the room there. So that's something that needs to be fixed soon, and is another one of the reasons why I'm not doing too much with this room yet. It was just to do one first coat of paint in the place to see what it would be like when it's a lot brighter, and I think it's a big improvement. The room was very sort of dark and red. Well, it was exactly this colour actually, but I know everything's going to need to be stripped back here. Like you can even see there, it's, yeah, everything will need to be stripped back and plastered, I assume, so I'm not doing too much yet. The living room is another space where things have been moved around a bit, but it's not been anything massive. So things were removed so we could brush the place up and put things back. So there's a nice new box down here, made by my mum. A funny box. It's mostly square, but it's a very handy little storage space. I suppose the main space that has changed here is beside the fire. So I know at some point, hopefully this summer, I'll put in a stove, because the fireplace is lovely, but it just really is not energy efficient at all. And when there's no other heating in the house, and when it comes to winter, it needs to be a lot better than a small fire. So my plan for the summer there is to put in a 4 kilowatt stove, and that should heat the whole house and will be a massive help and will be far more efficient in terms of energy. So something that's changed is beside the fireplace, I've taken away a lot of the boards that were there, so now there's more access to space for storing extra blankets and linens, and also more space to store firewood for the fire. So here's the kitchen, and here is the window that I painted last month, and I've cleared the countertop there. But there haven't been any major changes in the kitchen. There's a new oven, a hob combo, but only one of the hobs works, so we're going to get an electric hob in there. The room used to use gas, but the gas canister was being kept indoors, and a lot of helpful people on the internet on the previous videos pointed out how much of a hazard that was, so I appreciate that, thank you. So I'm going to keep things simple now and just work with a full electric setup. I know gas is a bit cheaper, but I think I like the simplicity of electricity, and hopefully long term it would be nice to get the house to a quite sustainable level, which means I'm thinking of things like solar panels and such, and then that would work well. There was a shelf here. I suppose that's if we're talking about structural changes. There was a shelf here that was removed because it was getting in the way of using the sink. And over the sink here I'd like to put a drying rack, but I think that will need to wait until a lot of other work has been done in the room, fixing up the walls, possibly work on the roof, because there are some bits of rubble that can fall from the roof and that needs to be fixed. Also the plumbing will most likely be redone at some point, so we'll see there. The water tank storage, so down here I removed the covering here, and we've removed the gas can, so actually there's a good bit of storage space here, which isn't being used at the moment apart from for the small fridge. So here is the final of the downstairs rooms, the bathroom. Not much has changed here. All that's really happened is it's been painted white and some of the old fixings have been taken out and it's been tidied a bit, but not much will really be done here, I don't think, apart from fixing the flush until the plumbing is redone and the electrics are redone, because with the electrics redone we'll be able to put in a power shower and that will go over the bath there, so there's the option for the bath and the sink. But that's a project for another day, most likely another year if I'm honest, but it's not the utmost priority. The upstairs sleeping space hasn't really changed, it's not really been used, but the water damage to the panels up there means that there needs to be work done on the roof very soon, so I'm going to be getting quotes for that and hopefully getting that done as soon as possible. Then once the roof is fixed we can look at re-examining that room and making it usable again as maybe another sleeping space, but for the moment it just isn't really being used. So there we go, that's a summary of everything that's been done basically since 2016, but I think there'll be a lot more happening soon. There'll be a lot more happening over the summer, so I'm looking forward to that, and also looking forward to being able to share that a bit. There's lots to do and I'm looking forward to getting into it.